Okay. Where was I? Oh, wrong button. Okay. Oh. That'll be right. You'll be fine. Okay. So in this stream, I am going to be working on my rendering backend to get this hopefully working. Alright, enough looking at that crap. Alright. So basically, I have a massive to-do list, which is here. Make it so you can actually read it. That's bright. That is really bright. It can't be zoomed. Alright. So we've got this to-do list here, from there all the way down to here. Just going to focus on the inherited render class and the just getting that going for the moment. Not sure whether or not I'm going to do the post-processing. That might just have to wait until later. It's not really needed, and it's going to be done on the CPU, so it's going to be slow. So some of these might not even exist, like motion blur is not really needed. So go from there. This is the engine so far. It needs to be reworked in the render side of things. What's the static? Interesting. All right. Let's have a look where I should start. I think having just a renderer class, so come to here, render engine, make a new text document, renderer.ccp, yes. And then we'll add these. Existing items. Come on. Where did they disappear to? Throw that in there. Throw that in there. Now we need to do the once. I think that's what I use in all of them. Yeah, I might change that later, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's in all of them. Alright, there, then we go into renderer. We'll include the renderer. I don't want that, I want that. Oh, I need to work out something for me cable. Alright, now we've got that. We're going to want a class renderer. And that's just going to be a virtual class. Can you have... No. Don't think you can have a static initializer. Yeah, you can't. So I'm going to have to refactor. You might be able, not a static initializer, a static virtual. Let's have a look. Doesn't look like you can. Yeah, you can't. So, that's easy fixed. We'll have to rewrite part of the code. That's alright. Virtual void on int. And that's going to have to take some args. Like the game engine. Oh. Or, alright, we'll just work out what we need. What have we got so far in the renderer engine? Got to add layer, remove layer. So we need on update, removes any null pointers and sorts layers and others using sort. We'll just throw that in for now. I don't think we're going to need that in the new system. What else? On draw. Because we need to draw stuff. Draw layer. Remove layer. I think I'm going to use sprite batches for this. So this won't be like this. This should be passed to the renderer, and that's what gets rendered. And then the user can just make one of these. I do believe. On draw. Let's have a look. What's on the to-do list? Sprite sheets. It's more like file loading. Somewhere down here. Where is it? Texture loading? I don't have that. No, yet. But that is needed to an extent for mapping where we go in the sprite sheet. So frames within like an animation, all your animations on one sprite sheet kind of thing. Alright. So we will, this is public. Here's a private. How do I use the game engine in here? What's it called? P engine? P game engine. Render copy. Okay. It does all the copying. That's alright. See, this is where the issues start to arise, because basically the way it's set up is so that anything within a subfolder, so anything in render engine, anything in this folder here shouldn't be looking at render engine. So what I might do, I might remove that and that from there, because we're always going to need a renderer, aren't we? So throw that in there, and then we can add it. That's right. We'll do the same over here. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Because we're always going to need a renderer. So then in game engine, excuse me again, my throat today is really annoying me. We will have a pointer engine renderer. What is that? I've already got that, do I? Oh, it's a struct. Ah, I see. So this should be renderer. No, we haven't. We can just go. And then in here, do that. And replace that. Do that. reasonable. I do believe so. So we've got on draw. I think that's all we need. What else is in there? Oh, we'll have some of this stuff too. Now, should they be passed? Should they be passed to the engine by the user, or should we generate them ourselves? That is the question. You're only going to have one renderer, ever, while it's running. So we can use those. Like so. Now, I think on draw, I do have some other code that this code will be replacing. Because this code is just trash. It's all over the place. Where are we? Window object. Come on. Being slow. There we go. We've got all these. So that is what a sprite has. I think I'm going to have to open the solution. I didn't want to, but I think I'm going to have to. Which is where? There it is. Oh, what? There we go. Close window. Now, just can't remember what the best way to do this would be. Because I don't think the client should have to build them. Although, they're going to have to a point, because they've got to tell us what we want to draw. Which is kind of okay, I suppose. Ignore all this horrible code. That's a game. Where are we? Main? I can't even remember what half this code does. Ugh. And player, set position. Alright. Clean sprite array. Okay, so that just gets rid of all the sprites that we have. This is where we draw. So we pass it the sprites, which then will go through. Open GL to use the program, which it gets from. That's the only program. Access the texture. Then we have set the uniform. Then we get the. So we tell it what camera to use. Tell it the location of the camera. Move all the sprites we have to be removed from the game, which we did previously, so that's redundant. Okay. Create sprite batch. What is that called again? Yes. Okay, so we tell it what to render, basically, by the looks of this. Oh. Get sprite of the font, render the font. Swap the buffer, clear render batches. So we should have something similar to that. Render batches. And here, do we... No, this renders all the sprite batches to the screen. That's what this does. This gets the render batches. Create sprite batches. Sprite array. Create sprite. What is that called? Entity, create sprite, create sprite, create sprite, create sprite, create sprite, create sprite. So basically, it goes through, so it creates them all. Okay, just leave that there for reference. So this will we got? What do I call it in here? Render tile. Layer tile. That doesn't make any sense. Ah, that's the image. Yeah. Okay. This is the render layer. That's the layer that's drawn. Let's have a look here. Logic engine. Vertex. No. Sprite. What are you? That is not the right file to have on there. Logic sprite. It's protected by render object. Build render object. Set render object. Layer. Update render object. Update render object. Update. Set what sprite batch it's a part of. Get layer. Get render data. Alright. So it's a render object. Shape rect. And the sprite inherited from the render object. Where are we? Oh man. This code. It's so good. So good. Alright. So should we have a render object? Well, I can always just change it later. Object. So if it's a render object, it has a S, X, and a Y position. Because we're only in 2D. It's going to have a texture. Which is where? Where are my textures? Image loader. Yes, alright. So we'll include image loader. Gonna have a texture. And should each one have its own layer, its own thing? In layer, default to 0, default to 0, default to 0. I'll have a width. Do I have a config.h? No. Add new item. It does not have a config. Engine config. folder. That. We'll just have some const for now. Do so that's just the default. That's just the default settings. That can change and probably will change. Because what this engine's going to be used for, that's going to need to be changed, but that doesn't really matter what layer it's on. So I'll have to we'll have all the virtual functions up the top there. We'll go object pointer maybe. So the layer, and we'll have a sublayer. Maybe. So you can have multiple layers like in here within a layer. See? You can have multiple render layers within render layers within render layers, and it's just keeps going. It gets pretty deep. So what else does it need? We might leave that in. What, render tile? Yes, I think I might leave that. That's useful. Render, oh, that shouldn't be there. I went home and end at the same time. Alright. I also need to know frame 0. Frame, and that will directly update this. So render tile, that doesn't have to be a pointer because it's going to be by itself. Okay, void update. And this will update the X and Y of the render tile based on what frame of the image, which it's going to change to, I do believe. Get image. Based on the X and the Y, what frame. There is a way to work that out. I can't remember what it is though. There's a formula. I'll work it out. It's not important right at this second. So we'll be built up with render objects. That's what we will use. Not too sure about the layers at the moment. We will just do that and that and this. Where are you? Where is the error? Engine error. Error engine. That's it. Do I have a... Sure I have functions. Add engine error message. Yes. Basically, I failed. Which code? What are engine codes? I don't think I have them worked out at the moment. What are we looking at? Not what I want to be looking at. Yes. So that needs to come down here. Add this in. I'm going to add the codes in. So for now, it'll just be a generic one. Basically, if we get into here, it's a fatal error. We'll just go code 0 for now. And default renderer basically it. Might not even need that update function. And what are we going to add the layers to? So we'll have I think we'll have the rendered layer. Like this. Again. We won't need that, or that, or that, because it's just whatever it's given, that's the way it's going to do it. Don't give a shit. Although we could sort by texture, which would help, because you're not switching between textures as much in the OpenGL side of things. So we'll take this. Where are we? Oh, I'll pin that. So we're not going to use those. So let's say render object. Yes. Yep. That's fine. So we've got the render object. It's one render layer. I think we're just going to have it so it's like this again. Layers to be drawn. I think because that way it's basically just here. This is what I need you to draw. Go do whatever the hell you want with it. So look. we have what point has it got here? Render layer, render object, tiles. So render objects. Yeah. Don't like the name of these things. And object layer. Object layer. Object layer. So that's basically the sub layer of the layer. So if it's 0, that basically means it's nowhere. It's not in the actual object layer. There's the sub layer. Alright, so this should just render object does not equal null, because we could have an issue. So we're not null. We're good to go. Now if, what did I call it? I didn't change its name, did I? Render object layer. M layers, that's fine. Render object layer greater than render object. No, oh, M tiles. M layers type. Size. Oh. Where was it? No, so the point is. If M layers dot size equals 0, means there's nothing, so we have to at least create one. So I've created one. Or equal to. Make sure the actual layer is where reachable. but we may need to does not equal null pointer. Let's go here. Layer. Layers. No E. Oh, ERS. You dumb shit. That was not empty. Just check it. Might just add a private function. Int so we'll look for an empty tile within a specific layer. We'll return -1 on fail. And then one int index goes find empty tile in render object layer. Oh, render object layer. I'm not worried about the sub layer for the moment. I just want to get the render layer working because it's more important at the moment. Now we will take layers, render, no, layer dot and objects. Yes. Just so we're not constantly doing that operator. Render object layer temp layer. It's a pointer. Because that access operator is pretty slow. Well, it is in debug mode, so it's probably not so slow in release mode, but yeah, having fast coding debug does help sometimes because you don't have to do as much in release mode trying to debug code. You can step through it a lot easier in debug mode, obviously, and read variables. So we'll check the size. We will also do a clear render. Clear render objects. add another flag to the layer. Needs clear equals true by default. Size is greater than 0, so there's something there. Fine stuff, if only. Then we'll loop through. Through that loop. No. If equals null pointer, return I. That's the one we want. If not, return whatever that is. So we'll do a check here. If we could also speed that up, because you think you got like 1,000 tiles every time you want to add an object to the renderer. It's got to do that check. So we can have a go of in here. Then int free tiles. Set that to 0. And we'll do a check before we even go in there. Temp layer dot free tiles equals does not equal 0. We will do all this. If not, just return -1. Now we've found the empty tile. This does not equal -1. If this equals -1. No, it does not. That's right. We want to do this. That operator tile index equals render object. There we go, that one's added. Done. So it's been added in. But if it is, we want to do that again. But instead of doing all of that, we want to just push it back. Like so. Push back, render object. To do sub render layer. So we come in, make sure we're not null with the render object. Make sure we have at least one layer. It's smaller than the size. Oh, hang on. Less than. Yes, that's right. Because if it's less than, yeah, because we've got 0. Now, if this is for a game engine, now we need to go if we should also do this check. Just move this down here. If render layer is greater than or equal to we will just we'll do another private function, add empty layer, and now that one we'll just push back an empty layer. Push back null pointer. So we'll push that back so it's empty, which will be here. An empty layer. We want to keep doing that until the size, until this catches up with layer or is greater than layer. So it would be keep doing it until I is greater than render object layer. Thanks. I'm trying to put a bit of thought into it. And we need to go, obviously, increase that. Y is greater than. I think that should be right. This may need to come back here. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's not for everyone. Um, Probably never really have anything production ready unless you put a lot of hours into it. Um, but it's a fun learning experience. You learn a lot about how to like write efficient code and how to structure things so it's makes sense. Yeah, I've done that. The Quake 2 source code's pretty good if you know C. Um, so we add an empty layer, it's null. We shouldn't do that check there. We should just, if, I think this should be better. Equals null. Null pointer, we want to do this, and then new render object layer. So we're just adding one in. If it's null pointer, we can get rid of this check because it's pretty much guaranteed at this point to be not null. Yeah, I haven't looked too far into the EdTech 4. I've mainly focused on the earlier stuff like Quake 2. And I think I've looked briefly at Quake 1, but it didn't have, it had its own scripting language. So it was a bit weird. But Quake 1, I mean Quake 2 is pretty good to read. It's nice and easy. Yeah, Quake is in C, but they had their own scripting language for the game logic. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Quake C. That's right. The bit of a brain fart there. All right, so create a new render object. We should do a cleanup in the renderer. This will. Oh. So on cleanup, we will just for ti is less than m layers dot size. Yeah, that's a good approach. Yeah, modding other people's code's a good idea because you learn stuff, and it helps you read code as well. Where you learn like reading other people's code, because if you just read your own code all the time, it's going to be a bit trash. We should, I think this should just have a cleanup function. Void. Which will then no, for is less than render objects dot size I plus plus. Heh. Oh, there we go. Too easy. Then we will. What will we do? If objects dot index I equal null pointer. We want to delete the render object like that. I think that's the only pointer we need to worry about. We'll set that to say here. We probably don't have to do that because we're deleting it. We're probably going to get rid of the memory anyway, but that's fine. And then we'll set this to null pointer. And then we will come through and do the render object layer. There's going to be some recursive shit. So object layer, call clean up itself. Be just like that. Too easy. And in here, we'll just go clean up. Done. It should take care of itself. Now, we should still delete it. And then just to be complete, pretty sure we can call these functions from within its inherit, like the class that inherits from it. Just add layers. So we also want to clear a layer. Yeah, good. We be calling delete on these things though, because that's the thing. Should we be deleting these render objects, or should we let? I think we should let the user do it. So we shouldn't do this. We should just. Should we though? Yeah, I don't think we should be deleting them. I think we should just be setting them to null pointer. But we should be deleting these because these we actually assign memory for internally within the engine. So we should delete them, but not them, because they get passed to us. So basically, we're not touching them. You do what the hell you want with them, brother. That's what we're saying. Deletes. And now we should clean up. We should clear. Clear. Which will just do this. We don't care about that. We'll just do this. But each one will add to free tiles. Like that. And every time we take one, so it doesn't equal that, we will we will add to that as well, because we need to know how many of them we have, otherwise we're up shit creek, because we won't be able to do this. And when we take one, no, it's alright, it's negative, that's where we're updating it, because we don't know if we're in the empty tile, if we're using a tile or not when we're in here. We just know if we have some or not. Now if we clear it, we're adding free tiles, and we should do this too, but not actually delete stuff. we need to just call this on there. And that becomes recursive. Yes, yes it does. We should check this too. If needs clear equals no. Yes. True. Do this. But we also want to all the sub ones as well. The sub layers may not need clearing, but a particular one will. So we'll just check, and if it needs clear, we'll clear it. If not, we won't worry about it. We'll just go on and check the next ones. Okay. Add empty layers, new, yes. We do this because we take with me. Just a note. So pretty much whoever takes the memory has to give it back. That's the way I see it. Because if we just had it so you could do it everywhere, I think you could get some pretty ugly code, and you won't be able to know what was going on. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break, have a bit of a stretch, chillax for a bit, and not do much. I'm going to add existing that's so tiny. Transform. Fit the screen. Holy moly. That is massive. There we go. Alright. I'll have a quick break while I think about where to go from here, because we're not drawing anything yet. We're just getting it ready to do stuff. Next up, I think we're going to do the actual drawing part of this. We'll just do the SDL part, and we'll go from there. Alright, I shall be back in about 5 or so minutes. And I'm back. What I'm going to do is just test this code here. Make sure this is running correctly. Alright, we can at least add render objects and it works the way it should. So we'll do that here. Where are we? Render engine. Get rid of that. There. 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 Oh, excuse me. There. Oh, we have to get rid of all this tile stuff. You know what? There's a faster way we can do this. I'll get rid of that. I'll get rid of that. Tile. Alright. So now we just need to include the renderer, and we want to where do we actually set the renderer? There? Yes. So we want to create a renderer. .init. Date. Draw. They are fatals, I do believe I set them to be. We just want them to be, no, just do a low warning for now. Just so we actually got something. Now we want to make a render object. Test one. Then we go test renderer. And render object, the address of test object. Alright. So this is test. I don't even know if it's going to build. We'll find out in a second. Oh no. undeclared. You know what? We can fix this. Just put it there. How you like me now? That's not going to do anything for the moment. It's fine. Now, do another build. What errors will we get? It says render tile. Just got to go under that. Yeah, I guess you don't like me now. We can fix that warning. Top defs. Let's cast it. I'm not going to be fucked using the top defs. Size T is an unsigned integer anyway. Doesn't really matter. It was a success. No breakpoint. Let's step into seg code. Red object does not equal null. It's on that layer. What? Oh. What? Oh. Oh, duh. One exclamation mark. One exclamation mark. Thanks, guys. Alright. So in size equals 0. Yeah, derps happen. I put an exclamation mark in front of it, so it was like, if it's not, if not valid, go into here. So we got, and it creates a new one. Yes, size equals 1. Good stuff. not equal null. Now, oh, there's an issue. We need to go into there. Go into layer 0, temp layer. Yes, does not equal 0. Oh, damn. That's fine. That's what I wanted to happen. Yes, and thank you. I need all the support I can get after that blunder. So it's pushing one back. Now that should have a render object, which it does. Position 0. Sweet. Now let's create another one. Object 2, test object 2. We want the layer. Well, how select type? 6. So we're going to add 2 tiles, one there. Build it. Alright. So that's good. We'll add one. This is the first one. Yes, that's good. Skip all that. Valid one. So layer is 6, size should be 1. You're what, mate? Oh, that hurt my ear holes. I don't even know what that button did. But my audio is stuffed up. Yeah, all it did was go doo doo. Skip, skip, skip. Why isn't that working? Just get this out. That's right, isn't it? Or should it be the other way around? No. Why do until or do while? I think that may be what the issue is. Hang on. That may have been the issue. I may have just had my confuddledness. We don't need to stop there anymore. Oh, what do you know? Keep going. Layer 6, there should be 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh! Abort. Maybe equal to. That's not making sense. This should have worked, shouldn't it? That is right, but +1. I don't know what we can do. We can go like this. Less than render layer +1. That should work. Yes, no one cares, no one cares. Alright. Size equals 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. There we go. And new one. Yeah, okay, that's working. I don't know all this. But after we get past there, we can have a render object layer. We'll throw that in here. Null pointer. And then we'll go like this. That. Now, we should, I think, we can do this again. So, render object layer. We pass it in as a pointer. And then we can just do this without having to do a lookup. Bam. So that should be a little bit faster. So I wonder if we can actually set that to const. And that we can set to that. Yes, that's just like that. And that is a const because we're not actually changing anything. Step into oh hello. Why are you null? I know why. Come back up here. Do an else. And just get like this. And then we should be able to just go like this. So we've essentially just saved what? 1, 2, 3 lookups? 4 lookups? 4 lookups we've just saved. By doing an extra 1 here if it's like good. So we've really only saved 1 if we have to create the layer, but if the layer is already there, we've saved what, 3? No, 2. No, yeah, 3, because you don't have to do this extra one. Which it does help. Especially when you're doing this every single frame, it adds up very quickly. Let's just make sure this works the way it is intended. So this is the first object, which is render object size 0. Oh, it's added them. Yay. Now we'll keep going. Now we're in here. Right, layers, size 7. Objects. There it is. Haha. You fiend. Alright, that's all working. Now I'll go fix this. So clear all red dot objects. I'm pretty sure we just loop through and clear them. For int, no, not int. Size ti equals 0. And then I will try and get the SDL renderer working again. Dot size I plus plus. Just We'll have a look at this vector clear. I'm not sure what it does or has. It's two. Raise and clear. They're two different ones. They do two different things. Removes all elements from the vector which are destroyed, leaving the container size of 0. Another one. What was the other one? Empty? Nope. What was it? Swap. Cert. Oh. Change the size. Oh, clear. The raised removes them. I can't remember now. Oh, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Now, to do check if because this could get ridiculous. So you've got like say you've got like 10,000 sprites and you've rendered them all, and then all of a sudden you don't have 10,000 sprites anymore. They're gone. So you're still iterating over it all to clear stuff. But this where was it? So even this, we could probably optimize this so we don't have to do this search. If each layer tracks where the last empty one is, and does that. Could we do that? So we've got 3 elements. Yeah, that we could optimize that. So we're not iterating over all of them. We just know where they are and it does it. Yes. Because you got like 1,000 sprites. Doing that every time you want to add one, it's going to add up very quickly. Very quickly. So we'll write this clear. So if it's alright, so we can do this. Layers. Yes. That's not right. It is that dot clear. Oh, thanks for putting the arrow in there for me, buddy. It was very helpful. Very nice. So it's got no free tiles. So we'll track what tiles we have available in the index. We could just get rid of this altogether and add another vector that is just an integer and it stores that number. We'll try this. I'll do it both ways. I'll free tiles. I'll just no, free tile index. Yeah, what's in your core though? Because core could be a lot of different things. Like, is it just like the window setup is the core? Like stuff to do with the window and getting stuff displayed on the screen, like rendering and input? So we'll do that. Okay, so core you mean like just basically the base engine, not any extensions or anything you might want to add. Yep. Okay, so like, yeah, okay, I see. Hold on. So we need to, I've done that. Use tile index tracker. I think this should be right. See, it's going to get rid of that loop, which is going to just balloon if you kept going with that loop. Yeah, okay. Like BSP, do you mean like binary space partitions, like maps, loading of maps or models? All right. So we can get rid of this basically, which will speed up everything. But I'll worry about that. I want to test it like it is now because that was the original code I wrote. I think it's going to be slow. It'll hit like a barrier basically. You'll be able to do like 20, but after like 100, then you got like 5 layers of 100 sprites. It's going to slow down. So got that. I need to start commenting some of this soon. Let's jump into here. Come up here. We'll do display errors. And we'll just pop that right there. There's actually, depending on what how you're going to do rendering, there's actually a GUI library. It's C++, I think. Yeah, it's C++. So I think it might have bindings to other languages. That's basically built to do development tools. See? Bindings. Oh yeah, there's C. It's auto-generated. Oh yeah, they basically generate the C bindings to generate all the other ones. It's good for tools. There's actually it's kind of stuff you can do with it. There's all the different tools. It doesn't matter what back end rendering you're using, as far as I'm aware. It just does it. Yeah, it basically, as long as you're using like OpenGL, DirectX, or something, because I'm not sure. Here we go. The common misunderstanding mistake intermediate mode for intermediate mode rendering. It usually replies herring a driver, a bunch of inefficient draw calls. It doesn't do that. It outputs vertex buffers and a small list of draw call batches, but never touches your GPU directly. So it does all the heavy lifting for you by doing the setting it up, but then it does everything else. Then you do everything else, basically. There's a big list of software using it. Heaps of stuff. Microsoft, there you go. BeamNG uses it for BeamNG Drive. Pretty sure Grinding Gear Games uses it. Well, Bethesda used that. That's probably Fallout 2. Ignore that. Valve uses it for their GPU visualizer for their what is it? It's completely went over my head. Debug tool. All right, I'll see you later. Yeah, sure, it's going to take me a while, but I'll get there. You can have a look at it when I upload the code. It's on GitHub. Well, it will be when I finish this part anyway. Alright, display errors. Was there no errors? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't show low one. Just ignores them. Yes, you should be displaying that. Step into. Oh. Hello. $150. What? Why was error code 0 not added? Maybe it doesn't allow that. $220. Oh, wrong way. 221. 222. Good enough. Huzzah. Yes. Step into get error call function string. Yes. Oh, I know why. I haven't actually added the error function for it, which is here. Derp, derp, derpity derp. Where's this defined? Uh, we'll call it 200. Renderer. No hit. I forgot I did this. I'll just copy paste that because I'm not writing all of that. We will just put the error message for now to do there we go. Hang on. Where are we? Not where I want to be. All right. Now it should work. It's not even 200. I haven't done it right. Hang on. 200, 201, 202. This is much better. What? Oh, it's doing it backwards. This is fine. Because then there should be one more, and that should be the one we want. Yes. All right. I forgot I added that. Oh, we don't. Oh, excuse me. Oh. What other error functions can we do? This is crazy. What have I done? Code function on add on data. Oh, that's right, because you can add like debug data if you want. You just like pack it full of a struct, and then yes. Yep. So what you do with the data, it's up to you with your data funks. And that error message should be a call data func. Yeah, call error data func, error code data func. So it gets the error message. It's not a string func. It's a data func. It's also on add, which I think is internal. Yes. Alright, we don't need that anymore. Alright. We should, while we're at it, render to render no update. Update. Alright. It's not update, it's draw. Oh, I closed all that. Damn it. Error. No, wrong function. Need error engine. Alright? You know right? Oh, like that. I don't want to play it like that, buddy. See how it is? Alright, we're going to build that. Ah, this is everywhere in the system. Joy to the world. Yes. I don't care about you anymore. Or you. Or you. Oh, hello. I went too far. I got a little excited. I only want to come to here. Yeah, stop. I don't care. Come on. Yeah, clown. Default. This is the default renderer. There is no draw. There is no update. There is no other init. Sweet. Alright. Now, we need to new item. And renderers. Cancel, close. Let's have a look. Oh, this one. Renderers. I think that's how you spell it. Let's double check. Renderers? Seems to be. We'll go with that. I like having spelling correct. Alright. I'll just leave those files for now. We'll add new, no, not an existing item, new class, STL, base class, renderer. Why do you do this to me? In here, open. I wasn't looking for engine camera, I was looking for renderers. Renderer SEO. Yes? No? Renderer? What are you doing? Oh, you piece of shit. I'm not using that. That's a pain in the ass. Do it the old school way. Yes. Alright. Bugger you off. Bugger you off. Bugger you off. You, and you. Alright. I think I might just get the base class set up, and I think I might call it because it's like 2 AM here. Class, what's this? Renderer, STL. renderer. Huh? What? Isn't that how you did it? Yeah. That's not seeming right. Override specifier. Is it? What have I done wrong? Foo. Void. On. Oh. That's why. You muppet. Get rid of this shit. There we go. That's better. You clown. There we go. There we have on draw. Now what are we doing in here in this init? Init. Render image. Render image. What the fuck? New engine. Blah 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 blah. It's not doing anything. It's not creating anything in there. Game engine. I think I'm doing it in here. Yes, yes I am. That in here. We're gonna need it. We're gonna have STL renderer. That's right. Yes, it's a pointer. And where are we creating this? In here. Knit. More knits. P window renderer. It has flags. So if we come back into here, we can have a look here. The renderer supports the rendering to texture. And so that's VSync. We don't really need that. This is interesting. That requires some more looking into. I'm not sure how that works. But on net, we want to call this, but we don't know what window we're using. So we will, do I have a get window function? Window? It is static. I don't think it's called anywhere. Now there are some, where do we make the window? Flags. Let's have a look in GodGame. Where are we making our engine? No, here. Game engine. What flags can we have? OpenGL. That's fine. That was shown, but we're not. So now we need to know what we need to do. How are we going to tell it which window to set the renderer for? What's that second option? Index. What do you mean by index, sir? Index. The index is the rendering driver to initialize, or -1 to initialize the first one supporting the requested flags. What? We should be able to. We should, in theory, be able to pass in. So if we go to here, where are we? Renderer. To be like that. Oh, where is it? No, game engine, that's up here. Render. I should probably move this. We don't need that anymore. But we need to Because it does output some stuff. And it needs a STL window. I think that's all. Flags. We're gonna need flags. And then that will just call the placement renderer init, which will take win and flags. No, wrong one. In here, we will do a something like that. Do win flags. Bam. Don't even know. Don't even know. How do I do it in here? Game engine. Yes. Like that. Where are we? Here. STO. And this needs a P renderer equals STL to STL create renderer. We give it win and use one and flags. We have all the flags, my friend. Okay. Oh, why is that lowercase? Just because I'm lazy, it can do all that work for me. If it's null, we want to give it this error. Here. Where are we? This here. And we wish to return false, apparently. Well, yeah, let's just know that the thing failed. So this should be a ball. I'm going to make this bigger, it's too small. Ball. And a ball. And return false. This isn't returning anything. I think that's all I have to do. Set draw color. 2 in here. But we don't need to do this. Let's do that. Then what else are we doing? And that's it. That's all we need to do. This will change because it's going to be calling it up here. So it's going to be plug all this off. So now it's not like that. It is the steel engine renderers. Like that. And then renderer STL, test renderer, engine renderer. So we pass it a renderer and the width and the height of the window. Which we don't know yet, do we? And this doesn't get called here. This gets called all the way back up here. Right here. So it's making love to this. Address of test renderer. Oh. 600 by 600. I'll do for now. We'll do. We'll do that in a minute. We'll set it up in a minute. In a minute. Actually, no, I'm going to have to do it now. Can just do. Oh, that would be Ray. That is fine. Renderer. You derp, mate, you're a derp. You're a derp, and you know it. What? Oh. So we'll do that, 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 all of that up until there. And then from there we call this goes there. That's window width and window height. Might just do this to make it a bit easier to read. Create the window. Then we use the renderer. No. This needs flags. Does it save flags? In 32. Flags. What is the flag that I'm using? You numbskull. I'll have to set my own flags. That's the one. Then don't even need that. And now knit like that. Return. Where are we? Here. Return. Return whatever that is. Knit. So we just want to check if the renderer knitted. If it didn't, we want to do this. We're going to have to change this a little bit later, I do believe. I think everything else is the same. PNG loading. That is it. That should now work. Engine. Flags. Should be a default, I think. Let's actually just have a look where that goes. Is that a uint? Yep, that is a uint. Oh, it was a uint, but I'm going to use my top defs. I wrote them, I'm going to use them. Alright, so let's check to see if we got an initialization happening. To get here, that's all we care about. Do we even compile? Forgot about that. That's okay. Just in here. Yeah, it's fine. I think that's just all it was. Let's have a look. Try rebuild. Cannot open. No such file or dictionary. Alright. I need to go through and remove a lot of shit. Like all references to render objects in here, which is render engine. Where is it trying to use the render engine actually? That's fine. I don't care. Remove it. Remove it. That is why. Alright. I think that worked. Maybe. I'm not sure. Oh, shucks. I noticed a problem too. What was it? We're not saving the render engine. Minor issue there. Because I had class there and it's actually a struct. Alright. Let's try this again. Bam. Well, that worked. Yes. Alright. That will do for now. I have a lot more to do yet. I still need to draw the renderer. Sure, this is how you do it on on cleanup. What do you do? Yes. Alright. So now, just do a quick test. Engine replacement renderer on cleanup. No, I was on update. Sure, that's how you do it. I'm just doing this to test it, so it's not going to stay like this. Yeah, I'll jump it off. I'm beat. Oh, what is the issue? Yes, I was right. Huzzah! Alright. That is me done. It's now 2:30 in the morning. So, getting tired. I need to get up in the morning. Let's have a look here. What have we done? Yes. Might still need some work. And that's about it. That's what I'm working on now. At least, excuse me, at least to a surface. Then I will do something else. So I marked it off. So, yeah, shit changed. Any exciting? I'll update that later. So I'm not going to do it now. It's not really in a usable state at all. Oh. Alright. I shall catch everybody later. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you all again. Bye. Good night.